Hi, and welcome to Dan's Garage and Outdoors. I'm Dan, and today I'm going to be showing you how to best set up your sleep system to prepare for backpacking or any form of camping you want to do. Before I show you how to best set up your sleep system for backpacking or camping, please take the time to subscribe and turn on the bell so that you see all my future videos, especially ones about backpacking or preparing for film art. Your sleeping system comes down to a couple of main things: your sleeping pad, your sleeping bag, your sleeping liner, and your sleeping clothes. But there's more. Sleeping systems also include the tent floor, ground cloth, and a pillow. Your backpacking sleep system really starts with what you choose as your shelter. If you use a tent and a tarp as a ground cloth, that's a really good way to keep your stuff dry and to have a good night's sleep. Now, if you just use a shelter and no tarp on the ground, you have the potential for water to start running into your camp if it starts raining, or a bunch of different scenarios. It really depends on what you choose to use as your shelter. That sets up how the rest of your sleeping system goes. The next thing you have is your sleeping pad. There are a lot of different options: insulated, uninsulated, short, and then they have options like self-inflating or air mats or just a closed cell foam mat. Mine is an air pad, and in my opinion is maybe a little more luxury than a self-inflating pad, but it's a really good way to have a good night's sleep while you're backpacking. So one thing I'd like to note before I move on to sleeping bags is an insulated pad will help you get the proper rating out of your sleeping bag. If you have an insulated pad, it really helps make sure that the heat from your body stays in the sleeping bag on the mat rather than going through the air in the sleeping pad and into the ground. Whether you choose a mummy or rectangle bag comes down to what conditions you plan to camp in. If you plan to camp in the summer where losing heat is not as much of an issue, or if you're planning on car camping, which is a great way to get into camping if you're not sure if you enjoy it, a rectangle bag is probably a good choice because they allow for a little more heat loss, which is not helpful in the winter, but are also a good baseline. Now, the next one is a mummy. A mummy is a little narrower at the feet, and it also typically involves a hood. The hood is really helpful when you're backpacking and camping in really cold conditions because it helps you maintain a little more warmth because you use a lot of heat through your head. So if you're losing a bunch of heat through your head, the rest of your body is not going to be as warm. Mummy bags are really nice for backpacking because they're slightly lighter than the rectangles because they have a little less fabric and insulation, and they also have less room to heat than a rectangle bag, so they're a little more heat efficient. The last thing to note when you're choosing a sleeping bag is whether it's a down bag or a synthetic bag. Synthetic bags are better at insulating when wet. Nothing insulates well when wet, but synthetic does it better than down. Down, when it gets wet, it tends to lose some of its loft, making it less heat efficient. Sleeping bag liners are not essential, but they are very nice to have when you're camping. They can help extend the rating of your bag just a little bit by making it a little bit warmer if you find that you sleep cold. And they also do a really good job at keeping body oil from getting into your sleeping bag, which may keep your sleeping bag nicer, longer. Mine is just made of fleece, but they can be made out of any material, and that just really is based on personal opinion. The last thing in sleeping systems is a pillow. There are a bunch of pillows available, and there's also the option of filling a sleeping bag stuffed sack with clothes. A pillow's really nice. At the end of the day, when you're camping, you don't just lie flat. If you have a pillow, it kind of makes camping a little nicer, and it's just one of those comforts of home that may or may not make it or break it for you when camping. If you're ultralight backpacking, that may not be an option for you, but if you're camping and weight is not so much of a concern, it's probably a really good idea to use a pillow because it just makes camping a little bit nicer and a little more like home. So the last thing involved with sleeping while you're camping is what clothes you wear. If it's really warm outside, obviously you don't want to wear thermal base layers. But if it's really cold outside, it's probably a good idea to wear thermal base layers because it helps trap the heat closer to your body, which will help with the heat of your sleeping bag being more effective. But in summer, you don't want to wear thermal base layers, so whatever you think is necessary, whether it's shorts, pants, long sleeve, or short sleeve, it's up to you. But when it's really cold, thermal base layers are really the way to go because they trap that heat closer to your body, which is more warm in the end. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this, and if you have any ideas on how to improve your sleep while camping, please leave them in the comments below. And if you like this and haven't already done so, subscribe, turn on the bell, and if you liked what you saw, please consider hitting the like button. It really helps me be motivated to make more videos. Thank you, and have a nice day.